We were recently contacted by an individual who was wondering, did her doctor possibly misdiagnose her pulmonary embolism? Want to know what happened in this case? Stay with me as I share with you this very important information. Hello, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm a medical malpractice attorney practicing law here in the state of Maryland. And I would like to talk with you today about an individual who contacted us. And the question was, did her doctor possibly misdiagnose her pulmonary embolism? Now, before I get into the facts of this case, I want to quickly explain to you what is a pulmonary embolism. A pulmonary embolism is a medical condition that can occur when a blood clot travels to the lung area. Now, if this thing isn't diagnosed in time, it can cause serious complications to a patient and even death. Now, what happened in these set of facts was that this individual, she went and she contacted her primary care doctor, and she explained to her primary care doctor that she had just gotten over a cold, or she was dealing with a cold, but her chest felt really tight, and she was also dealing with shortness of breath. Well, the primary care doctor did a physical examination of the patient, did a good history of the patient, and came to a diagnosis of bronchitis, and that the patient was dealing with some leftover complications from her recent cold. She gave her some antibiotics, and she gave her also a breathing device to help, with the chest and the breathing area. Well, she told her to go ahead and contact her again in a couple of days, but to let the medication do its job. Well, we're going to fast forward in the time about 7 days, 8 days later, and she's back at the doctor, and she's complaining. She's saying, "Doc, you know what? My chest is still hurting me. I'm still having a hard time breathing. I've got this shortness of breath going on. What's going on? I don't think the medication is working." Well, the doctor, again, did a history, did a physical examination again of the patient, and asked the patient these particular questions. She asked her, "Are you having any pains in your legs or calves or ankles or anything like that?" And the patient said, "Nope, I'm not having any pains like that. I'm just having, the shortness of breath, and, I'm coughing and things like that." Well, the doctor said, "Well, you know what? Let the medication work. Go ahead and finish all of the medication, the antibiotics that I've given you, and then let me know how things are going then." Well, we're going to go in time about 2 more days, and we find ourselves here. The patient, she has went to the emergency room because the shortness of breath is getting scary for her. And what she does is she tells the doctors in the ER, she's saying, "Look, doc, I've got shortness of breath. I'm really losing my breath. My chest feels tight. But I've also noticed today that I've had pain in my calf area. I've got pain in my leg." Well, the doctor hears this along with the other complaints and begins to run a lot of tests on her. And what they find out is she is suffering from a pulmonary embolism and other complications that are associated with that. Now, the question to us after she suffered this and she contacted us, her question was, did her treating doctor, did that primary care doctor miss some signs that were possibly present, which would have alerted her that she was getting ready to suffer a pulmonary embolism? Now, we went on ahead and got the medical records, had our experts take a look at everything, and what we concluded was that we would not have been successful in this case. And the reason being is that because a pulmonary embolism can mimic a lot of other types of medical conditions, and doctors will ask specific questions about it, because what they're trying to do is they're looking for those telltale signs or those red flags that would alert them that a pulmonary embolism may be present with some of a patient's complaints and things like that. And a lot of these red flags that the doctors are asking about, when they're asking about, do you have leg pain, do you have calf pain, they're asking that because that is a big red flag in regards to whether a person is about to have a pulmonary embolism. The reason that we thought that we would not be successful with this particular case is because our experts would have had to admit that our client's complaints would not have led a reasonable doctor to conclude that she was getting ready to suffer a pulmonary embolism. Now, why have I taken the time today to explain this to you? Because I realize that if you're watching this video today, more than likely you have other questions about your situation. You may have suffered a pulmonary embolism, and now you're wondering, did your doctors miss signs that were there, which were clearly there, which should have alerted them that you were getting ready to have a pulmonary embolism and that you needed emergency medical care? Well, if you have these questions and concerns, and your matter happened in Maryland, this is what I invite you to do. And it costs you absolutely nothing to take this action. Pick up the phone and give me a call. I can be reached at 301-850-4832, or if you prefer, send me an email to medicalinjury@bostonlawllc.com. We answer Maryland medical malpractice questions like yours all the time, and I'll be glad to listen to your story. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the medical malpractice attorneys here at Boston Law Group, LLC, and we will see you next time. Guys, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.